Bismillah, alhamdulillah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As far as purifying your heart, there is so much that we say about the purification of the heart and how to purify your heart. But as far as taking practical steps towards the purification of your heart, one of your means to that end is some seclusion. Some seclusion, because we're always busy, we're always surrounded by friends, we're always doing something or the other, we're always thinking of somebody, whether it's a parent, a child, a spouse, and that makes us always distracted by those thoughts. So there is some need for some khalwa or some seclusion. This khalwa would work like a diet regime for the body, because there are certain diseases that you cannot treat unless you go on what the scholars say hemia or a diet. And the same applies here to the diseases of the heart. You need to have some diet or some regime so that your heart can recover from all of the overfeeding, the distraction that results from this busyness, being sort of drawn into the life too much, thinking about life all the time, surrounded by people of this world all the time. When you are surrounded by the people of this world, you're always thinking about, if you are thinking with your mother about something, it's usually related to your career and something like this. If you are talking with your spouse, it's usually related to your kids or your next move or your apartment furniture, food, etc. If you're talking to friends, it will also be about these issues. So a dose of seclusion is important for each and every one of us. How do we do this? Sometimes you can have, those snap fitness places. And the one day atikaf or one night atikaf where you are alone, truly alone, it is like this snap spiritual fitness for us. So I think this would be recommended because it's very hard for us to have prolonged periods of seclusion. Hajj, Umrah, when you capitalize on every chance that you are alone and you think about your destiny, you think about being, standing alone before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being questioned alone before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, walking on the sirat alone, making it eventually to the Jannah or Nar alone without all the people around you. So you just sit with yourself and think about your destiny, which will be, your individual destiny. And if you can't find any periods of seclusion, then you at least have to have some mental seclusion, like even while you're sitting with the people. And that could be harder, but that's the ultimate prize. And eventually you would want to get there, to this station, where you have this mental seclusion, even if you are physically amongst the people. So like when we're sitting together and you are mentally with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mentally secluded. I think it was, I'm not quite sure which one of the taba'in that said they have known some people who would be weeping on the pillow, would get their pillows wet out of weeping without their own spouses noticing. And I know people that would be weeping while they're praying, and the one praying next to them, or the two people next to them praying, would not notice it. So that is when you build up those mental walls that can create some degree of separation between you and the people of this world, so that you can have a little bit of focus. You can have more focus on, your ultimate destiny, your final destination. Your connection with Allah, your relationship with Allah. Unless you have those mental walls, it is very hard to be focused. It is very hard to travel any long distance on your path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while you're being pulled by many, many people from many sides, from many ends, consumed in your thoughts about many, many, many things. Thoughts never end about this life. About you taking your car to the shop, and having breakfast and going to the university, meeting someone after Asr, and there's so much that we think about, and those are distractions. So mental walls is what you need to do, and whenever you get a chance to physically also be alone, so that you can have more clarity, then you should be doing that. May Allah make it easy for us to have those moments of muhasabah of ourselves. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.